Terim Manyang's brief message on South Sudan peace implementation. South Sudan's peace process must not be delayed any further. The revitalized agreement must be fully implemented, including security reforms, constitutional making, and credible elections. Our leaders must put the interests of the people first. Enough suffering, enough excuses. Time for action is now. Terim Manyang, civil society activist.
Good morning. My name is Terim Manyang. I work with Center for Peace and Advocacy. Center for Peace and Advocacy is a human rights organization based in Juba, South Sudan. And what we are doing as an organization, we are focusing on human rights documentation, monitoring, reporting, and we are also focusing on transitional justice. If you look at the chapter 5 of the peace agreement, it's talking about transitional justice in line with African Union transitional justice policy. And then also we are doing what we call evidence-based advocacy. When there's any pressing issue in the country, we issue a statement. The statement could be published through online publication and also in the newspapers in the country. And also we are doing what we call peace building and conflict transformations in the country. And we are under this, we have the freedom of expression, assembly, association. We do what we call in climate change justice. And this is what the CPA is doing. And then to come to the greater role of the civil society organization in South Sudan, some of the people in the country do undermine the role of the civil society organization in this country. And civil society organization in South Sudan, they are doing great roles in the country. One of them, they are working on peace building and reconciliation. How do they do? They facilitate community dialogues and organize at the grassroots level. So this one bringing together people to discuss issues that is affecting them in the country. And also they are doing what we call advocacy policy reforms. Some organizations they are doing advocacy like Center for Peace and Advocacy, like CEPO, like Center for Inclusive Governance, Peace and Justice, and South Sudan Law Society, South Sudan Civil Society Forum, South Sudan Human Rights Defenders Network, and Transitional Justice Working Groups, and other platforms in the country. You see, this country, the civil society organization, they are doing advocacy policy reform. How do? They monitoring the implementation of the peace agreement, especially, and also they look at the issue of human rights advocacy, looking at the issue of human rights violations, including the gender-based violence in the country, the forced disappearance, the unlawful arrest of the activists, of the human rights defenders, of the journalists, of the opinion leaders, political leaders, and opposition leaders. You see, we believe if a country does not have expression, people do not express themselves, so that country is slightly, not to move forward, in that manner. And then also civil society organizations, they are providing what we call a social cohesion and tolerance. You see, education and awareness campaign. Civil society conduct a civic education on peace, on promoting on the South Sudan should be free from hate speech. People are also doing a lot of hate speech in the country, and with the civil society, they are monitoring, the hate speech in the country. And also civil society they do youth empowerment. They provide a platform for the youth to engage in peace building through sport, through mediation, through dialogue, through negotiations, because young people, they need to include, in the peace processes in the country. And also civil society they provide what we call humanitarian assistance and development, because in the country now, we look at our country, we have organizations who are doing governance. This organization, they are dealing on the issue of human rights, and we have organizations who are doing humanitarian works. You see, this organization, they don't focus on governance. And those organizations also, they're part of civil society, although they don't do advocacy, but they provide humanitarian assistance, to the people. I can mention few a humanitarian organization or maybe a religious organization. We have YSET, we have CMD, we have ADA, we have UNIRO, we have NALHOP, and we have UNICA, we have a good number of the humanitarian organizations, that are doing an amazing job, in the country. Even HFO, you see, is a part of humanitarian organization. They are doing a lot of, and also civil society also, they encourage the women participation, in public life. And for example, in our country, you are aware, men are dominant. Our society is a patriarchal society. A patriarchal society, I need to explain in a simple term, because some of you may not understand these terminologies. When I talk about the patriarchal society, a society that dominated by men. Men are the heads of the clans, they're the head of the families. They're the head of everything, including also the government institution. Men are the one leading. Also, civil society create a big platform, for women, to participate in the affairs of the family. Yes, of course, when you come on the challenges that facing the civil society in the country, especially South Sudan, one of them also, there's a limited funding resources. Most of the donors now in the country, they don't fund organization that is focusing on the issue of human rights, issue of, or monitoring and related of gender-based violence in the country. Also, they give funding to the humanitarian organization. And also one of the main challenge also, donors, when the donors come to South Sudan here, they tend to compete, with the 9 NGOs, in which this part is supposed to be regulated by the government, by our government, because the international NGOs are not supposed to come and compete with the 9 NGOs in the country. I think the government should take care of that. And also one of the challenges also, there's a restricted restriction, in some part of the country. For instance, you are aware of the National Security Bill. National Security Bill as a Center for Peace and Advocacy, we are the one working hard, to make sure that Section 54, 55, 13 should be removed, as according to the governance, according to the 8th Governance Forum in 2024, in which I led to the civil society last time in Parliament. And this is when we are arrested. And the same day I was arrested together with my 2 colleagues within the Parliament, because we're resisting and also we are advocating for the removal of those sections. National Security Act, for example, if you want to organize an activity, you need to get that permission, from National Security, so that the activity will take place. If you don't get the permission, then the activity will not take place. This is one of the 3 challenges, not us alone, civil society, it is across the country. You see, it is a big issue. And also, there's insecurity and access to, to information. Sometimes it's very hard. There's some donors who hold the information with them, they don't really share information with civil society. Is one of the challenge. Access to information is very important, and also the capacity gaps. Civil society, they are not the same. There are some people who do not have a capacity, in terms of handling funds. For example, if they gave you funding, you may not have a necessary requirement within the organization, the policies that are needed, in the country. In conclusion, I just wanted to share this small video in order for the public to be aware of what we have been doing as a civil society organization in the country, and may God bless South Sudan.